Lucamus Prime here, so it is time for the next episode of Movie That Didn't Need a Sequel, and in today's video I'm going to be covering this time an example of a martial arts movie, and this is one of my favourite martial arts films of all time, and one of my favourite films of the 80s as well, one of my favourite eras for movies in general, absolutely, and this film, which I personally think did not need sequels, and to me was better off as a standalone movie, is none other than 1984's The Karate Kid, the first movie, and to me it's the only film. So, you guys are going to be asking me, what do I think of this film? Well, as I just said, I think it's one of my favourite martial arts movies of all time, a masterpiece in my opinion, and just so much fun to watch. And I thought it was just really great from start to finish, and you have very likable characters in it, of course. The main character, for example, Daniel LaRusso, played by Ralph Macchio, definitely a great character in my opinion, very likeable, well developed as well, and relatable to, I must say, as well. And also as well, I definitely love Mr. Miyagi, played by the legendary Pat Morita, may he rest in peace, who gave a great performance in this as Daniel's mentor. And among as well, of course, who would of course be his girlfriend Ali, played of course by Elizabeth Shue. And many was also great too as well, and also great villains too. Who, for example, of course, the bully, Johnny Lawrence, played by William Zabka, definitely a great bully in my opinion, alongside, of course, the head of Cobra Kai as well, called John Kreese, as well. Oh, so I definitely really liked it for those reasons. So I think the characters were definitely really great in this, and the story, in my opinion, was brilliant, and the fight scenes were also really great too as well, especially for standards of the 80s as well, in my opinion. And I think the story was also really great too as well, about someone who gets bullied when he moves to a new place, but then of course he trains to fight back as well, which was really good. So I definitely really like that. And I also thought the film had a really great ending as well, or two I must say, which I thought was really great. So when it comes of course to how the film ends, of course, so Daniel of course takes part in a tournament in karate, and from training for Mr. Miyagi, he's able to finally defeat the members of Cobra Kai. And it was definitely a very satisfying ending. And of course, he's now with Ali as well in a relationship, and he's really happy. And right there, that was definitely a great ending. And I did not see any signs of sequel baiting whatsoever in this movie. Yeah, I think the movie is just absolutely phenomenal and just really great to watch. So, if you guys have not seen The Karate Kid, I definitely would recommend it. It's definitely a really great movie. However, unfortunately, despite this great ending, in which, of course, Daniel wins, and of course, Johnny Lawrence has respect for him for defeating him and gives him the trophy, unfortunately, we got a second movie, which, of course, was none other than 1986's The Karate Kid 2 on here as well, so, which I have in this collection of the trilogy, and hopefully one day I can get a Blu-ray of the original movie as it is, just that one alone. And when it comes to the second movie, I personally think it's just, mediocre, really. I don't think it's that good, in my opinion. It's definitely nowhere near the masterpiece that the original movie is, in my opinion. But when it comes, of course, to what I think of part 2, what I don't like about it is the opening scene, in my opinion, I'm not a fan of, because it features Cobra Kai making a cameo appearance where it takes place rightly after, of course, Johnny has been defeated by Daniel, and John Kreese attacks his own students for losing, and then Mr. Miyagi then, of course, defeats Kreese right there, and then after that, Johnny and his friends then leave Cobra Kai behind. But personally, though, I think that scene should have been included at the end of the first movie to give full closure to the Cobra Kai characters and to Kreese, but unfortunately, they put it in this film. And of course, after that, they're gone, they're never seen again. So I kind of feel the inclusion in the film was pointless, really. And I don't understand why they didn't include that. They should have probably included it at the end of the first film and had Mr. Miyagi defeat Kreese in that, really. So he could give closure not just to Daniel, but also to Mr. Miyagi as well. And to the rest of the Cobra Kai characters. And one thing also very annoying is there's also a time jump of 6 months where it's revealed that Ali has broken up with Daniel after having an affair with a football player. So I really hated that, how they did that to her character, how they made her cheat on Daniel. Like, come on. Because in the first film, when I see them together, there's no way you'd guess that she'd leave Daniel. No way. But apparently she does, which is just stupid. Doesn't even help, it doesn't even appear in the film. If it happens off screen, so that's ridiculous. And I think the story is also okay too, where we of course go to Japan on Okinawa Island, Mr. Miyagi's home village. And so I did like, of course, how we got to see Mr. Miyagi's backstory in this film, but I kind of thought the film got a little bit boring too. And I also, as well, did not like how a character called Sato was constantly making fun of Mr. Miyagi, calling him a coward in the film. That really annoyed me. Like, that's Mr. Miyagi you're speaking to. Like, how dare you talk to him like that? So I feel the film was boring. The opening scene, in my opinion, was not needed. And, of course, no Ali, and also making her unlikable off-screen. Just a silly move right there. Then after that, despite like this, we then also got a third film in 1989, which was The Karate Kid Part 3, which I'm also not a fan of, even more than the second film. And the reason why is because in this, of course, was after the events of the second film, of course, Daniel and Mr. Miyagi returned to America, and of course, in this film, it brings back John Kreese. And I don't understand why, because he was defeated at the opening of the second film. So, by bringing him back into this and making him want to bring back Cobra Kai, it makes his defeat completely and utterly pointless. So I thought that was really stupid, and it also doesn't help how he's also barely in the film as well, which really annoyed me as well. Like, you bring him back, you know, a dumb move, yes, but also making him wasted, just ridiculous. And once again, I also as well feel the film was also boring too, as well, once again, in my opinion. And I also as well feel that it also rehashed lots of elements from the first movie, such as, of course, taking part in a tournament at the end. Like, come on, we've already seen this before, we don't need to see it again. So yeah, this film, in my opinion, was just a letdown, in my opinion. Second film was slightly better, but still not good, in my opinion, which is why I wish the first one was the only film of this franchise. So I'm personally not a fan of what came after the first movie, but despite this film not being good, it is definitely way better than what came next. And if you guys have seen the next film, you know what I'm talking about. Because now, we get to the worst of the worst, which is one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life. And that, of course, is 1994's The Next Karate Kid. Oh my god. This film, in my opinion, is absolutely terrible, in my opinion. The absolute worst of a Karate Kid franchise ever. Like, I really hated it. Because in this film, Daniel does not return for it, which is disappointing right there. And he gets replaced by a new protagonist called Julie Pierce, played by Hilary Swank. And wow. Julie is just so unlikable and rude. Just a terrible protagonist, in my opinion. A character I don't care about, who I find really unlikable. Like, what happened? Because I will say that, apart from Mr. Miyagi and her pet bird, all the characters in this film, in my opinion, were so unlikable. Like, I couldn't care about them whatsoever. I just think it was just really stupid what we did with this film. Really stupid. And also, the pacing, in my opinion, is also sluggish as hell. Like, it's so slow. Like, it has a runtime 107 minutes, and it feels way longer than that. Like, there's no way it's at runtime for me. It feels way longer than that. Just so ridiculous. And I couldn't believe what I was watching in this. And not to mention as well, Julie's development is also, in my opinion, terrible, because she somehow learns what to do so quickly with no training. Mary Sue. And she's also, as well, really rude to Mr. Miyagi as well throughout the whole movie. So I really hated that. And also as well, characters who are literally knockoffs of characters before. Like, for example, Michael Ironside's character, Paul Dugan, who literally feels like a knockoff of Kreese. I mean, I like Michael Ironside as an actor, but his character in this I really hated. So all I can say is this film absolutely sucks, guys. Like, if you guys did not like 2 and 3, just wait till you see this film. Because, oh my god, it's terrible. It makes 4 to look like masterpieces in comparison, but I'm not to say much, because I'm not a fan of those 2 movies. So I was just really appalled by this movie. I was tempted to switch it off because of how annoying Julie was. Thankfully, Hilary Swank has been in much better films I've seen, though. Like $1 Million Baby, for example. But her character in this, I could not stand whatsoever. Just so unlikable, in my opinion. Really hate her character in this. And I also heard that apparently Ralph Macchio wasn't a fan of this film. And you know what? I can't say I blame him whatsoever. Like, if any of you guys hate this film, I don't blame you whatsoever. Because I hate it too. I really do. Just a horrible movie, in my opinion. And that was it for the main movies. We, of course, then got the remake in 2010 with Jackie Chan and Jaden Smith, which I think is just, you know, okay, really, to be honest. A bit mediocre. You know, so many plot points from the original film revisited, really, to be honest. And I, of course, would also call it the Kung Fu Kid, not a Karate Kid, because in the film, the main character doesn't learn karate, he learns Kung Fu, so I'd call it the Kung Fu Kid. So, and of course, guys, as you know, I'm not a fan of Jaden Smith, because in my opinion, he can't act, especially in the Karate Kid 2010. So, all I can say is that I like to pretend there's only the one Karate Kid movie, just one. If you guys are going to ask me, will I be watching Cobra Kai? Well, I have heard good things about it, so I'm hoping if I get around to watching it, that I'll enjoy it. I really hope so. But I'm just, like a bit of, on a break from Karate Kid at the moment because of how bad these sequels were, in my opinion. I just really didn't like what they did with them. How they just ruined so many great things that the first film did, and ruined the closure that it had. Like, I don't know thinking. I like to pretend that the opening of Karate Kid 2 is part of the ending of the first movie, and then we get full closure for all the characters right there, a happy ending for the protagonist, of course, and a good send-off to the villains too, as well. So, I just don't know what happened really with this franchise, I really don't. But yeah, when it comes back to own, guys, I of course own this 3-film DVD collection of a trilogy, but there's no way I'm ever going to own the next Karate Kid. Absolutely not, because I think it's absolute garbage. And all the time I'm ever going to rewatch it again is for its trash talk in the future, that I'll probably do one day. But I will post reviews for the first 3 films for, of course, one showing pure love for the first movie, and mediocre reviews for the 2 sequels, because I'm not a fan of those 2, sadly. I mean, Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita make them watchable, but I'm still not a fan of those 2 sequels, in my opinion. And in the next Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi is the only character who I'd say is my favourite one, because he's still like a character he is from the first 3 films in it. Literally, the only doing quality alongside Julie's pet bird. So yeah, that's about it really. But long story short, guys, to me, there's only one Karate Kid movie. So, this is me covering the next episode of Movie Didn't Need a Sequel. I was saying why, in my opinion, the Karate Kid did not need sequels. So, you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to comment in the comments what you guys think of Karate Kid doing need a sequel, or comment below what you think. Also, be sure to join Team Fan Press and subscribe videos to come in the future, and I'll see you all later.